All tricks, no treats in the Medicare space.
What can it be? What can it be? Oh, hi there. It's my birthday. I'm Christian Brindle.
Area 51, 100%. I'm in. There's alien technology that we've been trying to recreate. The government's been lying about this one for a long time.
And we're back. We're back, everybody. That intro is unbelievable. It's unhinged.
Every time I was like, what is going on?
Like, what is this show about? Like, what
are we doing here?
Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Seven Figures or Bust podcast. This is episode 164, the number one podcast in the world for growing your insurance business. I'm Christian Brindle, joined with Glenn Shelton, and we're back. First show of the week. We have not done a show since last week.
Welcome to day 7 of the government shutdown. I am 28 days out from, 38 days out from hitting my number 45. Christian, how's the government shutdown treating you so far?
You know, I haven't noticed a thing as of yet that's impacted my day-to-day life. So that's positive, I suppose.
I think your mic is coming through a different mic.
Oh.
Double check.
All right. Mic check 1 2 1 2.
There we go.
Okay. Yes.
There he is.
As I was saying, right, I haven't noticed anything yet that's kind of affected my day-to-day life. I had something I wanted to start on the show.
Please do.
I may. I don't even know if I should. I'm having second thoughts.
Oh boy.
Yard line.
Here we go. It's always scary when that's the intro. So it's a little scary. Everyone, seatbelts, please.
You know, there's people that have been banished from every community online known to man.
Okay.
That has to do with insurance agents, Medicare agents, everything like that. Those seem to be the ones that talk a lot of shit. You know what I mean? These are the people that talk a lot of shit. Like, you know,
I mean, this is just like the non-commissionable plans, right? It's like the agents who write the least are the loudest about non-commissionable plans.
Well, like there's people that have literally paid to speak on our stage before.
Ooh. Oh, we're getting
who
we're
are now
on a shorter list now.
who are now bashing going to conferences, being in masterminds, people making podcasts. What's wrong with making a podcast?
Oh, okay. I know who. It took me a minute to hone in here. Okay. I'm on the same page now. I know where we are.
Like, it's just like there are some people out there that like they just need a target to have. They don't even know why they have the target, right? Like one day they're all about it, they're a part of it. Like the next day they're like, yeah, these agents are dumb for being a part of this. Like, you've been on podcasts. You've been on my podcast. You've been on this podcast. You know what I mean? You've been on our stage. You've paid to be on our stage, not once, but twice.
I saw this.
And just because you're not welcome anymore doesn't, now you're just going to turn around and say, oh, the whole thing's bullshit. But it wasn't bullshit when you were involved. I don't know.
So I think if I'm being like, I saw this post that you're referencing and it did bother me initially for sure. Right. Because I had the same thought as like, why are we bashing podcasts? Right.
What's wrong with doing a podcast?
What's wrong with doing a podcast? Another thing that was in a similar vein that I've seen not just from this person, but from other people is like trying to sell people things like, oh, they're just trying to sell you something. Like if I have a solution for you and it's something that's going to help you out put you in a better spot, better situation. I believe in it. You believe in it. It's going to help you. Why would you not want me to sell that to you? Right. It's like kind of in that same vein of like, so what I'm trying to say though, is I think a lot of this is projection, where I guess it's almost like jealousy, right? Because it's a lot of work. This is a ton of work and effort to do what we're doing right now, to do 160, go to 164 podcast episodes and tell me that you think it's a joke after you've done. We put in so many hours into this show. It's crazy.
Here's the other thing. Isn't this the same person that didn't want to do a free Facebook group and wanted to charge people to be in their Facebook group? You want to talk about grifting? That's grifting. To be in a Facebook group? Like, I don't know, man. I found it very disingenuous. And, you know,
I don't know why you make me cough every time I do this show now. I'm allergic.
But you're allergic to the truth. No, I'm just kidding.
I can't handle the truth.
But, you know, like, you know, I don't know. It just seems very disingenuous to me. And like, you know, from our perspective, right? Like, we run a very well-ran, successful business that does well. And the reason why we offer things out in the form of, let's say, the university, right? In the form of this podcast, which is free, in the form of the Facebook group, in the form of our event, which our event costs significantly less than other events, but we provide more value. We don't allow pitching from the stage and everything like that. Like, all that comes from our real life, real world successes. And we feel like we want to share them with the agents. Like, I don't see what's so 100%. Bad about that. I don't know. And I don't know. I don't even think necessarily that post was directed at us. But like,
it was, I didn't think it was.
That being said though, I found it still, even so, extremely disingenuous. And, I don't know. I felt the need to kind of say something about it on this platform.
Yeah, it was like Dante's 7 layers of hell, and apparently, like, the podcast was that final layer of hell, where once you see someone putting out podcast episodes, it's time to run. Like, that was like the gist of the post, and it's just like, what are you saying? Like, what are you saying? Like, what? You're trying to like gatekeep podcasts, or you're trying to say that like only certain people are allowed to do podcasts? Like, I don't like it didn't make any sense to me. I spent all of like 3 minutes contemplating the post, and I'm like, this is just like, there's not even any sense to this. Like, I don't even know what to say right now.
Again, charging people a fee to be in a Facebook group is a 15 out of 10. On the scale of what that post is talking about, in my opinion. Like,
not to mention that's probably explicitly against Facebook groups' terms of service, right?
Yeah,
like,
I'm pretty sure.
The terms of service of Facebook and operating a Facebook group, like, I could probably dig that up. It's probably like charging someone to be in a Facebook group. Like,
anyway,
nope, not allowed.
Anyway, I wanted to start the show off with just kind of addressing that, giving my thoughts on that. You know, I really want to dig deep into this topic we have today, though, because I think it's such a spicy meatball of a topic. That's agents who report other agents. I have a lot to say about this. I'm sure Glenn does too.
Yes.
Before we get into that, though, I want to talk to you about this episode's sponsor. And this episode's sponsor, guys, is helping us save the sups. Okay, we're gonna save the sups. This episode of the 7 Figures or Bust podcast is brought to you by Lead Heroes, you guys. And if you didn't already know, we have deemed at Lead Heroes October as Medicare Supplement Awareness Month. We're doing this so we can save the sups, right? We want to drive growth in your business with Medicare Supplement business this time of the year. Every year during AEP, there's a ton of agents that write a ton of Medicare Supplement business because it's the season, right? I know you can write Medicare Supplement business all year round, but your clients don't realize that, and nothing you do can change their mind on that. A lot of them are in the mood to buy. It's almost like, Christmas season. If you're not a Christmas person, you might be, craving the peppermint a little bit, okay? Because of all the Christmas music, the movies going on, it's snowing outside. Like, You're in the season. 'Tis the season, right? And 'tis the season for Medicare conversations. So because what we're doing for the month of October, if you didn't hear already, is we're discounting our exclusive real-time generated Medicare supplement lead products from $40 a pop down to $19 when you purchase a minimum of $30. That's over a 50% savings, $19 a pop. You just don't get value like that anywhere. And we want to save the subs this AEP. Glenn, what else do we have to say about Medicare Supplement Awareness Month?
There's not a better time to offer Medicare supplements to seniors. Hands down, this is the best time of year. Obviously, there's a lot of other products you can be offering, but the marketing that's going on, like Christian just said, that I think that Christmas analogy is quite apropos here. People think they need to switch their med sup plans. Whether they actually do or not, that's up to you, the agent, to figure out, right? If it was as easy as generating a Medicare supplement lead to know this person can switch, needs to switch, we would be cajillionaires already, but it takes a lot of energy and effort, and that's where you guys come in. So being able to help these seniors who a lot of times have been on a Medicare supplement plan for years, premiums have gone up, which this year, more than ever, we've seen premiums increase, which to me says more opportunity than ever before. Because as we all know, Medicare supplement plans are standardized across the board. A plan G is a plan G is a plan G. Doesn't matter which carrier you're working with. So a lot of times you can call Mrs. Jones up. Hey, it looks like you're paying $450 more per year than you need to be for your plan G. I've got another great carrier I'm working with. What I'd like to do is, ask you a few health questions, or maybe they're in a guaranteed issue enrollment where they don't even have to do any health qualifying to move. So we could be going on and on and on about this, and we will be as the month continues. Save the Sups, Medicare Supplement Awareness Month, and a lot of great content we're putting out on leadheroes.com as well. So if you're looking for some amazing, exclusive, incredible Medicare supplement leads, head over to Lead Heroes, LEADHEROES. There is an E in there. It happens probably once a week. I'll see some communications. Your website's down. Your email bounced. What's going on? Unfortunately, Heroes in the English language has an E, HEROES. When before I registered the domain 11 years ago, I remember sitting at my kitchen table thinking, I'm like, damn, I know this is going to affect some people finding the website. It happens every week. HEROES, leadheroes.com. Grab some Medicare supplement leads today and help some more seniors, you guys.
Love it. All right. Let's shift gears into the main topic at hand.
Clutch!
Hit the clutch!
F1!
This topic is such a great one, and I when you proposed it, the first thought that went through my mind is I was like, have we really never talked about this in the show? Sure enough, we haven't ever talked about this on the show, and I think it's such a great topic and very timely. And that is,
I think it came up maybe as an intro topic once, but we've never had a main topic, because I remember briefly discussing this before. But yes, agents who report other agents. And I wanted to say the reason I brought this up is I saw this in a post in the group recently. And if I don't know if we want to try to find a specific post, but what I can tell you off the top of my head is the gist of it sounded like letters or communication that were going out to their Medicare beneficiary clients around the last week of September, which, as we know, can't get into too many specifics, especially surrounding any plan information that we have until October 1st. Sounds like potentially, allegedly, according to this post, other agents were providing information that crossed that line early. That's what was being alleged. Now, to take it a step further, it sounds like this person knew another agent who was like going full Karen mode on this. Like, somebody get the Department of Insurance on the line. I'm calling Dr. Oz. I'm getting the CMS administrator on the line right now. We're terming licenses today. We're getting those licenses. We're terminating them. We're just going to tear them up. We're going to take the no more insurance for you. Nope. You're done. It's done. Okay. So,
now, right. I want to put a caveat to this, right?
yeah.
And maybe a disclaimer of sorts.
Please do.
Obviously, many, if not all, of the big carriers, even your regional carriers, they take that very seriously, right? Like they take that very seriously. You shouldn't be doing that. It's not a laughing matter necessarily, but sometimes agents just are inexperienced. They don't know any better. Sometimes they're making a genuine error and not really understanding it. I have seen a lot of situations over the years where there have been agents over the years that, kind of almost like knight themselves as being the compliance police. They're like, they're going to be
my liege.
They're going to be
my liege. I will protect CMS.
For those of you watching on the audio only, Glenn literally just was knighted by Cardboard Dr. Oz. But, these people, they take it upon themselves to be, God, judge, jury, executioner.
Yes.
They are the person that, my wife tried to do this the other day to somebody, not compliance, but totally unrelated. We were going through a drive-through and there was an Olive Garden right next to the drive-through and it was closed. It was early in the morning and guy pulls up, parks in this like handicap spot and, and he's all crooked, but there's no one parked there. He gets out and walks over to get something from like a stand, like a hot dog stand or something like that. My wife is like, she's like, I should call the police on him. He's parked in a handicapped spot. He's not supposed to be there. It's an Olive Garden parking lot. I'm like, don't be a Karen, honey. I'm like, leave the guy alone. She's like, well, he's not supposed to do that. I'm like, I would do that. I'm like, if I was trying to get to that hot dog stand, I would be doing exactly what he's doing. And, there's a lot of agents that take that upon themselves. They're like, looks like there's a rule violation. Looks like there's this. And the biggest thing that triggers me about it, to be honest with you guys, is sometimes it's based off of no more than just the word of a client. You weren't there for the situation. It's secondhand knowledge. And it's just like, the client says, little Billy signed me up without my consent. Little Billy signed me up and I didn't know I was being signed up. If you could look into a crystal ball in the moment of Miss Betty signing up with little Billy, you would see Miss Betty was like, yes, here's my Medicare number. Yes, I want this plan. Oh, absolutely. Like, little Billy did everything right. But Miss Betty either is too embarrassed to tell you that or she's forgotten. Remember, we are dealing with seniors. And some of you want to literally execute your fellow agents when you hear that from a client. Like you want to, Mussolini them. For those of you that don't know, Mussolini was the dictator of Italy. He was partners with Hitler. In World War II, when the war ended, his people literally his people literally had him his body dragged through the streets for like hours after he was dead. Like that's what you want to do to your agents, your fellow agents. If they make a mistake, like what are we doing here?
To kind of preface the rest of this episode, it's not to say that myself or Christian don't take compliance seriously or that we don't take rule breakers seriously. We absolutely do. I also will say now as well, I think there is a line that if you see get crossed, especially if it's like in person, like you're seeing this happen in person, there is a line somewhere. Sure. I'm not even necessarily here to be the one to tell you where that line is, but there is a line somewhere where you should probably tell someone what's going on. The problem is that 9 out of 10 times, there's not enough information. Yes. You're not actually seeing anything firsthand. It's all coming second or third hand, like what Christian just said. And a lot of you are jumping the gun or you're making an assumption. There's a comment here live on the stream right now that I think is great, is that these people have too much time since they don't know how to produce. And that's the thing, is like you have so little time to do anything. You're going to take this time to make assumptions based on second and third hand information, assume that this agent was out to try to get someone or do something super nefarious. You know, let's take the example that came up in the Facebook group and you know, give you an idea of how this could have potentially been a very innocent mistake, right? Someone's trying to come in and end someone's career. Maybe this agent is brand new, right?
Yeah.
Maybe this agent's only been licensed for 6 months. They're still trying to figure out what they're allowed to do and they're not allowed to do. And maybe they sent some information out that they shouldn't have, right? Maybe they did jump the gun by a week. Are we really going to try to end someone's career because they explained some of the open enrollment information early, like a few weeks early? Like, I don't feel like that would be my place as a licensed agent. I don't feel like that would be my place to make that decision because I don't think I'm the judge, jury, and executioner, right?
And again, right, like there's so little information that's involved in so many of these instances. Can I tell a story that happened this year?
Please do. Yeah, please do.
You were trying to enjoy some needed time away, if I remember correctly, while it happened. It was very funny. So this is
March. It was March 2025. How could I forget? How could I forget?
So there's a situation that pops up in the Facebook group. This is one of my all-time favorite compliance Nazi stories ever.
Friday. Twas yesterday.
Twas the night before. No. No. So anyway, I can't remember even all the details at this point, but what I do remember is somebody posted something in the group as a joke of some kind.
Yeah, I don't even remember what
it was. It was a comment on a post. It was an agent that I've gotten to know a little bit. So I know he's joking. I know he's being sarcastic a little bit, but he comments on the post and says, you know, I think he said, like, I sell Medicare supplement plans to Medicare Advantage members, and you know, and I'm unapologetic about it. So it was like clearly facetious and clearly sarcastic, clearly like obviously he doesn't do that. And of course the post had nothing to do with me. It wasn't my post. I didn't comment on it. I didn't even see it. And the situation escalates where this psychopath lady from the group starts going ballistic on this agent. I can't believe you're doing this. I'm going to have you terminated. I'm going to turn you into every single bureau I can find, Department of Insurance, CMS, FBI, President Trump himself, like whatever. Like she was on the warpath against this guy. So he sees this going on. She's posting like rapid fire under his comment, like 4, 5, 6, 7 posts straight, like just blasting him, like, you motherfucker. And you know, so he's like, whoa, I got a crazy person. So he deletes his comment like I would. And I think the person that put the post up initially deleted it too, because their post was getting taken over by this. Anyway, long story short, this person calls our office,
the ESI office, you guys,
and demands that we take legal ramifications against this agent that made the joke, and that we investigate and we make sure that they're turned in to all the proper authorities because it happened in our Facebook group. And I basically told her to fuck herself. And I'd say it again if she's watching. Like, fuck you. But no, like that type of attitude right there is horrific. Toxic, right? You want to end this guy's career because he made a joke online. You didn't even get to the craziest part of the
story yet. You haven't even gotten to the craziest part of the story yet.
All right, continue.
So again, the inception here, the start of this was based off of this sarcastic comment on a post on the group, which then escalated to this person needs to be reported.
Yes.
Which then escalated to, what are the admins, aka me and Christian, what are we going to do about this?
Yes.
Comment on a post that was sarcastic, which then escalated to, if you guys don't do something,
You're right.
I'm going to report you guys.
Yes,
So
that's right. That's right.
Yes.
She said because she called in multiple times to our office. Again, lunatic, psychopath. Any of you that are compliance
I couldn't believe
police,
it. I'm sitting at a basketball game. I
forgot about that.
It's like 11. It's like 11 a.m. on a Friday morning. I'm trying to slip out early for the weekend. Take my son to a basketball game. I'm on the phone in the back talking to Christian, and I'm just like, what? Wait, I'm like, what? I'm like, what are you saying? What are you saying? I'm like, we have to get our attorney on the phone right now? Yeah. We have to call our attorney, you guys.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a grift?
Yeah.
How about legal expenses to run a Facebook group? Anybody have that set up? Any of you familiar with that?
Yeah. That is such a important part of the story that I forgot about. Like,
yes,
she called back again, like Glenn said, and said, because we refuse to basically like crucify this agent, crown of thorns, everything. That
no evidence.
It's a joke. I DM'd the agent. He's like, yeah, dude, I was kidding. I'm like, I know you were. I'm like, she's a psychopath. Like, don't even worry about it. And so she calls in again. She's like, she said me by name. She said, I'm going to personally be reporting your company and Christian Brindle to CMS, to this Department of Insurance. And that's where I saw red. I was like, I will end you. I'm like, because I didn't do anything. Like, I'm running a Facebook group.
We had to take it seriously. That's the thing, though, is like this whole situation was so wild, just completely unhinged from the start. But we had to take it seriously. So Christian gets off that phone call, calls me, explains to me this whole thing from start to finish. I'm like, we got to get our attorney on the phone.
Yeah.
So then we call our attorney and we're like, hey, this all came from nothing, but now we're being threatened. Like, what do we do? Like, just insanity.
And
insanity.
Like, let's kind of like circle around and put into context, right? This is how ridiculous a lot of these situations really are when you actually get the entire story and details of what's happened or not happened. Let's say, hypothetically, this person did report us, and for some reason, it came back on us, right? Whatever. It's an allegation or something like that. Let's say I lost my license somehow. Well, what happens there? We, as the principal, we lose all of our insurance contracts. Tons of our employees have to be laid off. They can't provide for their families. I can't provide for my family. Glenn can't provide for his family, right? Like, you see all the people that are affected, the domino effect by an unhinged allegation of basically someone commented something I don't like in your Facebook group, I'm going to cancel you. Like, that's what we're talking about here. And so I say all that to say, to kind of circle back around, so many of these situations of agents trying to turn in other agents are as stupid and ridiculous as this type of thing is. Really, when you get the full story, when you get the full picture, how many times have you been told something from a client and it just sounds like there's no way that's true? Like, this agent busted through my window. He punched me in the face. He wrecked my house. He lit my garage on fire, blew my car up. And then he came in and used my hand and had me sign the application. I'm unconscious. I'm like, okay, did that really happen? Like, who is this agent? Who is this agent? Is it like Antifa? This agent? Like, so many times you never see something firsthand. Now, am I saying there's not agents out there that do bad things, that are bad eggs? For sure.
For sure.
But the vast majority of people in our industry are just genuinely good, hardworking people that are trying to do right by their clients, that are trying to make a living and provide for their family. And
shout out to Logan really fast here in the comments. On fire today, bud. He said, on top of that, she's making it harder for the powers to handle actual reports that need to be investigated.
yes,
Another great point about
yes,
trying to report people on very loose accusations of essentially nothing, just like this Facebook comment story. Like, there's people who really need to be investigated. How many times have we covered fraud on this show?
several.
Millions and tens of millions of dollars of fraud. Medicare fraud, embezzlement, like crazy stories we've covered on this show that need to be investigated.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I think it's one of those things where it's like, if, you don't know the situation of the agent, right? If it's something stupid that doesn't harm anybody, right? Doesn't actually hurt the client. It could just be like Glenn said earlier, that agent is still new and figuring out how they're supposed to do things, right? Like, did you do everything right when you first started?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, neither did I.
Not.
I think if anybody's honest with themselves, like there's a learning curve to this. There's a lot to learn. I was having a conversation last night at my house, and I was being asked about what we do, and I'm like, yeah, honestly, like it's a lot to learn. Takes time. It's a big learning curve. And some of you guys want to literally like decapitate people professionally if they make
excited about it. It's gross.
Yeah, it's really, really gross, and some of you guys need to look at things for what they are and provide your fellow agents a little grace. Unless they're doing something extremely malicious and nefarious, then I think that's a different story, like Glenn said earlier. Like, there's real situations, right? Like, if there's a really good case that someone really did something wrong to victimize a client, then yes, I'm a big believer of reporting it to the proper authorities and letting the people that need to know. But I would argue that 9 times out of 10, one of you tries to report another agent, it shouldn't be reported. It's hearsay. It's, the client forgot, like,
or the client lied.
We had a client last year that filed an allegation against one of our internal agents, one of our LOAs. Her allegation was that she did not know we were signing her up for the plan we were signing her up for. When we sent the documentation into the carrier, we found that we had a Google review from the client mentioning the plan by name that we signed her up for.
I remember this. Yeah,
it was like, great. We signed her up for XYZ plan, right? She said, 3 months later, she says, I didn't even know they were signing me up for XYZ plan. Serious allegation, right? For all I know, an agent could have coached this person into doing this.
Happens all the time.
But we sent in, with everything else, a screenshot of a Google review from said client saying, I'm so happy I worked with so-and-so agent, and they helped me get enrolled in XYZ plan. And it's so great for me, and it's perfect. Like, it was perfect. We sent that in, and we're just like, and, but that's a serious allegation.
It is.
Right? Like,
it is.
That's something you don't take for granted. That's something you don't just do loosely. Think
about if you get a phone call from a client and the client's telling you, well, this other agent said the plan you put me on is the wrong one. Like, a lot of times the reaction from the other agent is to really try to escalate this to make the other person seem nefarious. What the saying that I really wanted to make sure I mentioned on today's episode that I feel like is one of the most important things I think you can use as a lens on this whole topic is don't attribute malice to what can be considered ignorance.
Ooh.
Because so much of this is ignorance. So much of this is not what you think it is. The example I wanted to give from my time in the field as an agent, when I'm selling final expense, I would come across people who got quote unquote clean sheeted more often than you would realize, where there was either a health condition they had that they didn't report. The big one was tobacco use, because obviously with tobacco use with final expense, you're talking about something that would essentially double the rates, right? Because you're more likely to pass away. So then life insurance carrier says, hey, we'll take you, but you're going to pay double, right? So a lot of times people would mark no tobacco use. And so, and I remember early in my career when I would come across some of these applications or policies, I would always think, oh, this agent. But then I remember one time specifically, a client kind of got tripped up in, oh, well, I don't really smoke, or I used to smoke. And like, they were so weird about it. I got this feeling in my gut. I'm like, man, I think they lied to this agent. And ever since that one interaction with that prospect, I remember thinking like, man, who's to say whether it was the agent that, mismarked that application, or they lied on that application, or maybe the client lied to the agent, you guys. Like, I wasn't there. It was 2-3 years ago or whatever it was. They took out the application. It's like, I'm not the judge and jury on this.
Right. I have another point I wanted to mention, right?
Yeah,
like,
please do.
One thing that none of you guys, probably not none of you, some of you do, I'm sure, but a lot of you guys that do this probably don't think about this. But what happens when you encourage and drive complaints? Overall, it raises the number of complaints that CMS sees.
Raises the tide of all ships.
The compliance.
We were trying to raise the compliance sea and raise
and drowned you out and drowned all the bad agents. Drowned them all.
Noah's Ark. Get all I need one of every agent in this ark.
I Medicare Noah.
That's the AI.
Yeah.
That's Christian
Medicare Noah
on the ark. The compliance raid is coming.
2 of every agent. 2 Pauls, 2 Johns.
2 FE. 2 annuity agents. Get everyone on here.
No, but like, what happens overall when there's a surge of compliance to CMS?
Yes.
Guess what CMS does? CMS takes a look at this and says, oh, our rules we have in place are no longer working.
They're not strong enough.
They're not strong enough. So we need to come up with more asinine rules.
Yep.
And then guess what? We all get more rules. So the only thing you're typically accomplishing when you help file a complaint for something frivolous entirely is you contribute towards having more rules that you have to follow yourself.
Hey, it looks like a lot of agents are writing apps in about the 24-hour mark instead of 48 hours. So we need to change this to the 96-hour rule next year. We're going to go 96 hours. It's going to be 4 days. You're going to scope someone and you're going to wait 4 days before you write that out. Like, that's the type of insanity that could come from false reporting, increased number of accusations from you guys, from one agent to another. It's just crazy.
Harms
all of us.
It hurts all of us, right? Like, I look at the domino effects of a lot of people in the space that caused client, I guess, experience to worsen. And I don't think it was independent agents. I think a lot of it was a lot of these big publicly traded call centers, I've said their names before. For some reason, I'm squeamish. I won't do it today. But you guys know who I'm talking about, right? Like, so a lot of these big publicly traded call centers did so much damage that they raised the temperature. So think about this, right? A surge in complaints from something you have nothing to do with ends with more rules for you to follow. How crazy is that? More compliance makes it harder for you to do your job, for you to help clients.
Yep.
And that's ultimately what you're accomplishing. But I think, I think to kind of circle back to what we kind of talked about at the beginning of this, most agents that obsess over reporting other agents and obsess over compliance are non-producers.
Yes.
They're non-producers. They don't produce a lot of business.
Or they don't produce any business, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's a lot of agents in this space. This goes back to the insurance forums days. This predates the old Facebook groups. I remember there was like retired agents who just couldn't leave it alone. So like they hadn't written a policy in who knows how long. And I know this because I would get into things behind the scenes with people and I'd be like, who is this? Why did they say that? And so then all of a sudden you would learn, oh, well, this agent hasn't written business in years. They're actually retired, but they just want to keep poking the bear and stirring the pot and putting information out there. And they're not even writing business. They're not even writing business. There's a lot of those people out there. And what we've seen, just like I mentioned earlier, with like the whole, information that came from the carriers where people aren't even reading it. They're not even listening. They're not digesting it. They're not asking any questions. They just grab the headline and they run with it. They're not producing. Nobody should be listening to any of these people. And there's so many of them. There's so many of these agents out there and they're just throwing stuff out there. Boom. Oh, carriers are cutting. MedSups are going away. Just crazy stuff from agents who aren't even writing any business. It's crazy.
And you could tie this conversation, if we had more time, together as well with agents that are the sky is falling agents. A lot of the same people.
Yes.
A lot of the same people.
A lot of overlap.
I posted in the Facebook group last night. I'm like, let's give the people what they want. I said, I'll read what I posted.
Yeah, that was funny. I saw that.
I said, you're right. Carriers will soon not pay any commission on any plans. In fact, you will soon have to pay the carrier to write plans. You should all give up and give your clients to us and get out while you can. I'm like, let's give the people what they want. You're all fucked. No, I'm being
get those resumes updated, guys. Update those resumes.
I'm being all extremely tongue in cheek. I hope everybody realizes. I don't like seeing agents turn other agents in. I don't think it's good for the industry. I don't think it's good for your fellow agent. And if you turn somebody in for something frivolous, you could handle everything perfect with a client, and the client could just forget your interaction entirely, go tell another agent, and it's just as easy for another agent to turn you in for something frivolous. So it goes around, comes around. I don't think we should encourage that type of culture or environment. I think the quote that was piggybacked off of earlier was, rising tide lifts all boats. Let's take that attitude. Would be kind of my thoughts on this, my final thoughts.
I love it. Guys, my final thoughts, again, I think take the perspective that, unless, again, like if it was me, like to give an example of something that I would feel like I need to really get involved and to help protect a senior, like let's say you had an agent that was like committing identity theft and there was a paper trail that a senior produced that said, hey, this agent was here. And then all of a sudden I'm getting this, and this, something that was very strong evidence that I felt like that senior was being taken advantage of. It would have to be something really strong where I felt like I needed to help protect this senior. I'm not going off of second, third hand information. He said, she said. And I think, again, the problem that you don't see when some of these false reports go out is that additional level of compliance that we all end up having to adhere to. And that's ultimately what has been happening, I think, to a degree, so be smart, step in if you feel like you absolutely need to. But like Christian said, and I agree with, I think 9 out of 10 times we're probably reporting similar to the Facebook comment situation, where we're reporting things where maybe someone made a joke, maybe someone was new to the insurance world and they didn't know what they were doing. You know, XYZ, you don't know. Maybe the client lied. Like, we could keep going here. Like, there's all these different scenarios where you think you have the information, but you don't. So that's my final thoughts on today's episode.
I love it. I love it, right? Like, the last thing I'll say, you know, is like specifically a joke in an insurance agent Facebook group. It's looked at as like a joke that you'd never make publicly, right? But you make it behind closed doors amongst peers. It's locker room talk. With that said, guys, we appreciate you watching all the way to the end. Episode 164. We made it. It was a heck of a ride.
It was.
Appreciate you guys watching all the way to the end. If you're watching replay, live, video, audio, however you like to consume the show, make sure to give us a like, comment, subscribe, 5-star review, whatever the platform of your choice will allow. We certainly appreciate the support. Helps more agents find the show who need the information. And without further ado, we'll be back next time. Here's to your massive success, and get your $19 leads and help save the subs. Thanks, everybody.
Save the subs. Save the subs.